witness, but also to support her needs as a victim to this physical and emotional trauma. You all should know most of the available details, which unfortunately are very few right now. So I'm going to skip over that and get into what's really important to me and to this community. Officers have been working diligently overnight. I spent a great deal of time with them at the crime scene this morning, and they are working with every available resource we have to process evidence, obtain evidence, and find leads to this brutal murder. The next part is actually really difficult to say. We have very few leads and very little evidence in this heinous crime. That's part of the problem. There are people who know about this crime, whether as participants or witnesses, or who heard about it before or after the fact. We need those people to take a stand, step up, and tell us who the cowards are who would shoot a 71-year-old man in his own bed. If you know about this crime and you don't stand up and speak up, you are contributing to the murder of a 71-year-old man in his bed. In response to this shooting incident, Chattanooga Police Violent Crimes, Organized Crimes, and a variety of our other resources from patrol to other investigative units are working diligently to address not only obtaining evidence in this case, but ensuring that any other possible dangers from this incident are addressed in a proactive manner. We are seeking information on possible suspects, groups, gang involvement, geographic areas involved, and any potential for retaliation. We are working with all of our law enforcement partners in the immediate area, whether they are local, state, or federal, and in the states that border us. If the streets are talking in Chattanooga, we're listening. If the streets are talking in Chattanooga, we want to know what they're saying. If the streets are talking in Georgia, we want to know what they're saying. If the streets are talking outside of our region, we want to know about it. We do not want and will not allow the murder of a 71-year-old neighbor in his bed to rest. I've told you before, we will go wherever it takes us, for as long as it takes us, to hold people accountable who would threaten and harm our neighbors. We and our law enforcement partners are committed to finding the coward or cowards who committed this murder. We cannot do this on our own. We know there are people out there who have information before and after the fact. We need them to call the Violent Crimes Bureau of the Chattanooga Police Department by calling 698-2525 if you have any information, regardless of how minor you think it might be, about the events leading up to, during, and following this incident. We cannot do this alone. We need the community to help us find the cowards who murdered a 71-year-old man in his home. Please call us. 698-2525, 698-2525. You've heard me say it before. I've never felt it more strongly. This violence is unacceptable. Please stand with me and the men and women of the Chattanooga Police Department and say, not in our town. I have time for a few questions if I didn't cover anything that you all would like.
Chief Fletcher, one of the things that I know